One of its heads seemed to have a mortal wound, but its wound was healed, and the whole earth marveled as they followed the beast. The whole earth marveled. Now, it doesn't mean that every human being on the planet is going to worship him. It means that the whole earth is going to be caught up into this drama, and people are going to witness it, and he will be a dividing line for all the peoples of the earth. Doesn't necessarily mean, what we see from Daniel 11 and other passages, many people oppose him. They hate him. Not everyone throws in. It's not as though it's like the whole world throws in with the Antichrist, and then the Christians say, no, we won't bow the knee. No, there's a lot of resistance in the nations, a lot of opposition. We'll study that in the coming days. They worshiped the dragon, for he had given his authority to the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like the beast, and who can fight against it? So there's this air of invincibility that he has. The beast was given a mouth, uttering haughty and blasphemous words, and it was allowed to exercise authority for 42 months, 3.5 years. It opened its mouth to utter blasphemies against God, blaspheming his name and his dwelling, that is, those who dwell in heaven. Also, it was allowed to make war on the saints and to conquer them. It was allowed to make war on the saints and to conquer them. Here's another reason why it's important that we have a functional understanding of who the Antichrist is, what he's doing, and why God is allowing it. It's another reason why we don't believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, the idea that Jesus is going to take us out while the world suffers the wrath of the Antichrist. No, we don't suffer the wrath of God. Jesus bore that for us, drank the cup to its dregs. We don't have to worry about the wrath of God ever. But we will face the wrath of Satan, and we will face the wrath of the Antichrist. That's a very important point. We need to be prepared for it. And any teaching that says that we won't be here for it, we're absolved from it, exempted, is a false teaching. It will be granted to the final beast to make war on the saints, and he will exercise that authority. And authority was given to it over every tribe and people and language and nation, and all who dwell on the earth will worship it. Everyone whose name has not been written before the foundation of the world in the book of the life of the Lamb who was slain. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. If anyone is to be taken captive, to captivity he goes. If anyone is to be slain with the sword must he be slain. Here is a call for the endurance and the patience and the faith of the saints. The whole theology of the rising of the beast is a call for the endurance and the patience of the saints. This whole message is all about the patience and endurance and the faith of the saints. This is an exhortation not to get your charts and graphs about the end times right. This is an exhortation for patience. This is an exhortation for endurance. This is an exhortation for faith. God is calling us to be a people of endurance, to be a people of great patience, and to be a people who are aware that he will grant authority to this man to conquer us. Now, what's interesting here, in chapter 13, it says he was given authority to conquer or to overcome the saints. But in chapter 12, what we read is that it's granted to us authority to overcome him. So here's the thing. How does the beast overcome the saints? He makes war on them and slaughters them. How do the saints overcome and conquer the beast? How? We follow in the footsteps of our crucified Messiah. We bear the cross. So we overcome by being slaughtered. He overcomes by doing the slaughtering. And in the end, God will use all of that to separate the sheep from the goats and to bring condemnation upon the head of those who spill the blood of the saints, and the saints will be rewarded. Therefore, the call to the nations is don't throw in with that man, because you will have to drink the cup of wrath and fury if you throw in with him. And if you throw in with the saints, you need to be aware of this. You're going to need endurance. You're going to need patience. You're going to need faith. Faith, living faith. Not cultural faith, not borrowed faith, not academic faith, Not intellectual faith, but living faith, born of the Spirit, that gets us through these days, shining bright like stars in the midst of this great darkness. Now, Matthew 24, we're not going to read it because we've covered it a lot in other sessions, but Matthew 24 also deals with this exact same moment. Jesus says in 24 verse 15 in Matthew, when you see the abomination of